Welcome back to a brand new Creative Encounter podcast episode. I'm your host, Juiette Payne, and you are back for episode 81 of this podcast. Yo, if it is your first time here, I would love for you to like, to subscribe, to hit the bell so you don't miss any future episodes. If you're driving and listening on Apple Podcasts, if you're listening on Spotify and all of that, go ahead and leave us a follow and a like and all of that good stuff so we can reach so many more Kingdom creatives through this podcast, okay? Now, guys, without further ado, I'm here with a good friend of mine. And you guys may see him, and he may look a little light-skinned, but this is my black brother, Christian Yee. Christian, what's going on, bro?
What's good?
Oh, man, bro. Dude, let me tell you.
That's good.
This guy is cold. So like you got those cold musicians, and they just be all humble and stuff. This is my guy. So he plays keys, he plays organ, and he's a composer. He plays... He teaches all of that stuff, and he's just so good, y'all. So I had to get him on this episode. So how you doing, bro?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Awesome. So it's funny because when we were trying to connect, I didn't realize like you teach over here in the area. Mm-hmm. We were like, because you had hit me up for you were moving an instrument, an organ. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you like give me the address and it's like Maywood. I'm like, Maywood, what? Like,
yeah.
That was crazy. Then we came to the crib.
It's like right across the street.
Right across. That was insane. Yes, sir. Yeah. But what's going on? What's new with you?
Yeah, I'm just doing different projects, different gigs, teaching, all sorts of stuff, trying to pay the bills.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, did you go to school for music composition or anything specific with music?
I went to school at Northern Illinois University in DeKalb, right by Rockford, Illinois. For music performance.
For music performance. Wow.
It was like a variety of classes, and my concentration was the jazz studies degree.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, so when I was at UIC, I did architecture.
Okay.
But I was like, man, I want to minor in music because I was performing and gigging and all of this stuff. But I just didn't want to stay longer. It was one of those things like, I just want to get out. Like, architecture's killing me. So I just want to get out in 4 years. I don't want to add any extra time to it. But I was taking jazz class. I don't know if you know... the Chicago Jazz Philharmonic, Professor Orbert Davis. Yeah. So at the time, he was the teacher there for jazz, and man, it was phenomenal.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He's so good. I'm trying to get him on the podcast. He's like, we always talking. He's like, oh, I'm busy. We got some shows, but let's set up for this month. Let's set up. And then like he always got shows that's going. But eventually, I'm gonna get you on here, Orbert. I'm gonna get you on here. But okay, so music performance. Now, it's one thing when we're learning music theoretically. Like you and I, we can talk music, so I love this. It's one thing when you're learning music theoretically, right? Then to actually go out there and implement and apply it, right? We actually play with other musicians and all of the nuances and the creativity that comes along with it. Have you seen like a dichotomy or some type of difference between what you learned in school and what you've experienced just playing with all the different musicians you played with? Yeah,
so I think because it was a jazz studies degree specifically, and because some of the musicians there, they're different than some of the musicians I play out here or play with out here. It's just different people. So you just gotta feel out how their vibe is, where they're playing or how they're playing, what's their musical background. Because people's musical diet affects how they play. So, and you're gonna have to get to know people through that. So, I will say a lot of the skill sets I learned from a lot of the teachers I had there, even those more jazz focused, I can apply to other genres and stuff. Because like my professor, the great Reggie Thomas, he just knows so much about music in general. So I could apply it to other things as well too.
That's awesome. Now you did jazz, but I see you typically doing gospel. Which is why I be saying you black, And also another reason Christian is black, y'all. I told him to get here at 2:00. He got here. He got here about 2:30. So that's that CP time, that color people time, So I was like, bro.
No comment.
No comment. Hilarious. It's all good. No, but bro, so like jazz, now obviously it has some connection to gospel. But I typically see you kind of doing gospel. So how did you get into that arena,
So I always loved the music. I was about 5, and I was at the library, and one of the first albums I found was Aretha Franklin, Amazing Grace.
Let's go. Yes. Wow.
Right at the top of 1970s. So the album. So for me, I've always loved the music. And then my mom worked out here in Hillside. She had the dry cleaners. So because of that, I guess just my love for y'all's people, and then also just my love for gospel music, and also even I grew up at more of like a mega church, but I would see certain musicians playing a certain way, and so I was like, I want that sound.
And then
when I was maybe 19 or 20, I started coming out to some of these churches and started playing. So, and then as I got better, my vocabulary of things musically got better and all that, gospel just kind of was like a key.
Wow.
That kind of fit in my musical ID. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. No way.
I just love the music, so.
Yeah, it's so insane, bro. I mean, that's what we grew up on, just Pentecostal church. All of that amazing. The Baptist, well, when I was younger, we were at a Baptist church. Then when I was around 8 or 9, Pentecostal church all the way to college. And then now more so like the style is kind of taking over a little bit. It's kind of like the contemporary gospel type of feel and everything. But it's cool because it's this hybrid. It's this hybrid that's happening. Yeah. You know, and all the genres at this point, we're just getting bits and pieces from all of them and just creating a brand new sound. You know, it's so good. So with that, did you start, well, going back to your parents, you mentioned your mom. Are any of them musicians?
My mom played like violin in high school, but college, and then my dad is a classically trained tenor.
Oh, no way. Good. Yeah. So now tenor as far as singing? Yeah. Yeah, wow. No way.
Like he's done all the opera, aria, art song kind of stuff. So
have you guys started composing anything together?
He's not really a musician now. He kind of stopped after he had me and my sister and stuff too.
Okay.
So
he passed it on to you guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool, dude. So going back to doing the gospel and whatnot, are you writing at all? I know you teach. I know you perform. Are you composing and writing any new pieces as of late?
I've, in terms of that, it's been more so working with certain songwriters or producers, so like recording tracks of different things, or like sitting in a writing session, like in a room like this. So nothing's released per se, but I'm in writing sessions.
Yeah,
so.
That's awesome. I love that. That's cool, dude. Great. So let's see, what are some, because a lot of people who are actually, because you're doing this full time, you're not like working at Target and then trying to be a musician. You're just like, yo, I'm going all in. Okay. And that's awesome because that's what both of us are doing. So with that, that's what I want to encourage people with on this podcast. What is, I mean, there's highs and lows with that. So what is a word for people who like, man, I want to venture into this. I may be nervous. I don't know where to start. What's some advice and tips that you can give to the musicians out there?
That's a good question.
Because I know you be on your grind, bro. Like, you literally be like, yo, I be seeing you on social media just like, yo, I'll do this gig, I'll do that gig and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you be everywhere, which is great. So, like, you know, what's some pointers and tips that you can kind of give to folks?
Be as best of a musician at your craft as possible. But also be as good of a person as possible. Like, you need both, and then be business-minded.
Yeah.
Like, learn everything you need to know financially, musically, and even just about being a good person. You know, financial-wise, like, do your research on, like, taxes. Like, taxes. Like, how you can operate as a business, you know, how to save up for retirement, you know, how to, like, pay off, even with, like, making money just doing freelance stuff, like, how can you pay off debt, you know? So, when you're a freelancer or when you're a musician or entrepreneur, it's really on you. Yeah. You might work with other people that give you consistent work, but it's really on you. So you need to be smart. And then in terms of being a good person, you just got to be a good person. Yeah. I heard James Anderson say on their podcast, be a good person. Yeah. Be a good person. Yeah. Be a good person. Yeah. Now, that looks different for different people, but I think in general, just be a good hang, good person, good vibe.
That's what I was going to say. So, obviously, you know Steve Dukes. Yeah, so when Steve was on here, he was saying, like, yo, you got to be a good hang. You got to be someone that people want to be around. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't be that jerk who comes in and just, like, messes up the session or thinking you're a know-it-all or not prepared. Holy smokes. Like, you got to be prepared. Yep. Know what key you're gonna be in, you know, whatever and stuff, and you know everything you're gonna go, all the parts of the song, do your thing. So yeah, man, that's so good. That's so good. I love that. Yeah, yes, sir. Cool. So now going back to the piece of the financial kind of taxes area. Now, something I want to offer with that is, those are some things as artists we may want to delegate. We want to delegate because, like, we're like, yo, I just want to create, I just want to play. You still want to know these things. You don't want to be like, I'm just going to fully delegate it over. So if you find someone who is savvy and an expert in those areas, make sure you still know the information. Yep. So that they don't mess up your stuff. They don't mess up anything. You still want to be able to know things. Like, for example, even like when you play with a band or something, say if I don't play keys as much, I should still be able to articulate like, oh, I got this, explaining like, oh, this is the sound I want into the song I'm writing or something like that. So you want to be able to know, just be knowledgeable all over.
Yeah.
Just holistically be knowledgeable. You know, that's key. I love it.
Save receipts and take notes of everything.
Yeah, there you go. Even setting up, your business bank account and all of that stuff. We did that finally a few years ago. But when you go into it, I'm like, I wasn't thinking of this as a business. I'm just like a songwriter. We're doing music videos and we're dropping music out on iTunes or whatever at the time. Then it became like, yo, we need to take this more seriously.
Yeah.
Even branding, like how you dress, how you're looking and stuff. Make sure everything is on point, because where are you trying to go? If you're trying to get to the top tier area, you got to start mentally thinking like that, and you have to start looking that part, essentially, So all of that is key, Wow. Cool. So that's the performance side. We'll come back and hit that. Now, you teach as well. Where'd the passion come from for teaching? That's the first thing. And then how did you even start setting yourself up to do that?
Yeah, so I would say, like, I took a lot of, like, local classical lessons in the suburbs and stuff, and I didn't have, like, a teacher who, like, I love classical and stuff, but I love other genres and stuff, too. And so even just learning how to play songs by ear. Like, I had a lot of teachers who discouraged me from that, but I've always had perfect pitch. So for me, I always wish I had a teacher that was like me, who could dig into multiple things. And so that's really what my passion is to help people with multiple things.
Wow.
Whether it's, whatever discipline or thing you want to learn, even like some production stuff, writing, I just want to be able to help people however.
Yeah.
Whatever way.
That's so good. Now, go back to the teachers, dude. Like, why would that be something that's discouraged to, like, focus on learning by ear? Like, why would that be something that they would discourage or not be too thrilled about?
Because some of them they come from a certain tradition, or they just know one way to teach things, and they don't understand, or they don't. There's a difference between teaching and knowing the art of teaching. That's why people go to school for what they call, like, pedagogy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Learning how to teach. So, like, for me, if I teach classical, I've done research on how the actual composers of the music, like Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, how did they actually want their music played, or how did they teach?
Yeah.
Not how do people interpret how they teach.
Yeah.
That's something, I did take some classical lessons at NIU, and that's something that the classical teacher also had me think of.
Yeah.
Because she had to break a lot of habits. She's like, you're not the only one who has these habits, but she's like, there's some habits we got to break in learning wise.
Holy smokes, that's so good, bro. I love that. Because that's a big proponent of how I teach. I'm like, yo, music is something that you feel, something you emote with, something that you are engaged with, that you are feeling, you're just in it, you're immersed in it, So with that, you want to be able to feel and hear. Like, for example, like a big thing when I'm teaching voice is, don't start with doing all of these, lip rolls and all these vocal little things and stuff. You first want to focus, do they have pitch? Like, if I hit this note, can you match it? Let's start there. Let's get that done first, because you want to be able to be like, yo, I hear this music and I can sing that and I can jump right into it. Not just doing all of this, and all of that stuff, whatever, first.
Yeah.
Or the warming up or breathing. That's part of it. But the first thing is, can you hear and feel and reinterpret this sound that you're hearing? That's key. And then from there, we can build from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's so dope. So you have, now, let me tell you guys, so Christian, I'm going to put the link below. Christian is actually one of our instructors for Starving Artist courses. Okay, so if you want Starving Artist courses and you want to learn piano and any of that, whether it's theory, read the sheets, all of that stuff, he does all of that. So if you sign up for that, Christian is one of the instructors. So it's fantastic. But on your own, too, you have a whole little team. So how did you kind of get that together for those who may want to start teaching? Like, how did you start putting yourself out there as an instructor, essentially?
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, I do teach for other entities as well, too, including Juiette. But in terms of my own students, it's just been just putting out the word, a lot of word of mouth, some advertisement, some recommendations from people, word of mouth.
Now, tell us some highs and lows. Like, it's not just easy just being an artist. Just being an artist out here, like, what are some things to look out for of, like, yo, this can be difficult, maybe some opportunities that you really wanted, and, like, maybe that didn't fall through. But ultimately, we know the Lord is in control of all of it. But with that, tell about some situations like that for you.
Yeah, so like there are times where like like if it's a certain situation where better musicians in the room, or it's like one of those situations where it's like almost like collaborative gig where they bring up other people to play. I never get ashamed of people trying to either like one up me or try to teach me. I don't take those things personally. If I take it more personally for myself. I'm like, I suck. I could care less about that.
That's hilarious.
But like I'm like, dang, I could have done better. And so, but sometimes I tend to be a person that beats myself up a lot on those things. Yeah. And so I have to, for me, and that's not just me. A lot of people I struggle with that.
That's what I'm saying. Yep.
So just knowing how to not beat myself up too much, like being like judging myself, but not being judgmental towards myself. There's a difference. Like objectively being like, this is why I could have done better. This is why I did good. Right.
Yeah.
Not just being like I suck and just keep saying that.
Yeah, not condemning yourself over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we focus on it's the idea of like I completed all of this work. 90% is fantastic. I'm focusing on that little 10%. You just look from it from the perspective of okay, how can this specific area? How can I get that better for next time? Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, that's something I be doing too. I'll be like, okay, Gabby. She's always telling me. She's like, it's cool. Like, like no, it should have been great like this. And got to catch myself and be like, okay, rejoice in it, and know that life is still going on.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of all of it.
Yeah,
so dope. Cool. So what do you want to do? Like, what's your ultimate goal as an artist? Like, what are you looking to achieve or attain as an artist? Like, what direction are we going?
Yeah, I'd love to. One of the things I've always wanted to do is be a big music director for some big artists or whatnot. Some of my inspirations are his name is Jason Halbert. He's been the music director for Kelly Clarkson since 2003. So about a year after she won, and he's been with her ever since, including the talk show.
No way.
So he's the MD for the big daytime talk show that she has.
That's awesome.
And they've been winning Emmys and all that stuff like every year.
That's so cool. Let's go.
And I just love to write some big songs.
Yeah.
Make my name, put my stamp on the musical world.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was gonna say. You want to start composing, and is this for under your name or doing it for the other artists?
I've never thought about doing my own project, but definitely. At some point that would be cool, but also for working for other people.
For the artists, nice. That's awesome, cool, dude.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the faith side of things. Okay, so you're a believer. You went to, I think you said, was it Trinity? Was that a college?
Yeah, Trinity. They closed down recently, but Trinity International University up in Deerfield, Illinois.
Okay, so even before that, how did you come to faith, and how did you start intertwining your faith with your creativity?
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of answer that backwards. So I think I literally can't do this without God. Literally, like my ear and like the way I interpret music is only because of Him. So I have this weird ability. It's called synesthesia.
Okay.
So in general, that's where senses get kind of rewired and stuff. Okay. And for some people, that's bad because like when they see something they might taste something or vice versa. For me, when I hear sounds I can visualize color or images.
I think we talked about that before. You were telling me that.
And I don't always brag about this, but the fact that I have perfect pitch as well too.
That's crazy.
Like I can hear a note and I can sing it back, or I could figure out songs out of spot just by doing that. So I'm doing this because God has gifted me to operate a certain way, and I know certain churches or certain people, they get worried about, certain Christian artists doing secular stuff as well too. All I'll say is that the Lord has made me capable of being in multiple atmospheres. And I mean, I'm not even black and I'm in heavy black churches. So
but I don't think you understand, you are black. I'm not understanding why he's saying that, y'all, but we've already established at the beginning of this episode that Christian Yee is Christian black. But yeah, dude, like for real, when I be saying like, oh, and some of my homies too, Keisha, Keisha, Kim, all of them, dude, hilarious, bro. Wow.
But in terms of how I came to the Lord, it was I was going to church. It was one of their youth camps, and I had they did a whole presentation about sin and the fall of man and everything. And this was the summer before high school started. So I just had a whole come to Jesus moment. And that was the first time ever. That was like the ugly cry.
Yeah,
and,
yes, sir.
All that stuff.
Oh, praise God.
So, but ever since then, he's definitely done crazy things with me. Do what I'm doing.
Yeah. And I love that you're not one who like, okay, I got this gift. I'm going to kind of just do whatever I want with it or not acknowledge the Lord. You're like, yo, I acknowledge that he gave me this gift and it's a crazy gift. And I'm putting him on the platform. Like how you even just started. It's like, okay, let's talk about faith. First thing you said, it wasn't, I can do this, I can do that. I can't do any of this without the Lord. And that's the stance that we want to have as creatives. Like I was telling you about my guy, Justin Morris, he was on the last episode. Something that profound that he was saying was the idea of how Jesus said, you can bear no fruit without me. He didn't say you'll bear a little fruit without me. You can bear no fruit without me. So if we try to do anything in our ability or in and of ourselves and everything, it's not going to have that blessing or that foundation or that fruitfulness that the Lord can offer when we do it. So we put him at the forefront, then everything is blessed. And everything we say, everything we play, all of it, our thoughts, just all of it is connected, That's so good, man. Yeah, I love that. So then how did you start interpreting your faith being a part of God's uniqueness? Like the idea of like we're made in his image. In the beginning, God created, right? So we know he's a creator. We're called to be creators as well. So when because I know you're young, maybe 14, 15, you gave your life to the Lord, whatever, right? Around that time. When did it connect of like, yo, I'm about to be using this, for the Lord specifically?
I think it's always been a desire to just like do music and stuff. First of all, I think that became more like right after that. Okay. I was like, not me, but I'm like, I could change the world doing this, And so, but I was actually craving opportunities, but I didn't know where to go, who to ask, whatnot. That's why I went to school for music because I thought that would help, which it kind of did. But for me, if anything, he's cultivated me more as a person, and that's affected how I operate as a musician.
A lot of stuff,
opportunities. And stuff.
A lot of formal education can only take you so far. It's like when you actually go out and apply it and you put yourself out there. That's when you actually just start learning. That's when the learning actually happens. You got to be like. Because a lot of people, I'm telling you, I know people literally sit there, I'm going to study all day, I'm going to learn as much as possible, and then never get anything started, and years and years and years go by. It's like, what are you doing? Just like literally put yourself out there. Whether it's picking up the phone and doing this quick reel or going live or sharing a product you made or a service that you can offer, just do it. And then when you put it out there, you're like, oh, this went well, this did not go well. Don't be afraid of the part it didn't go well. Learn from it, and not beat yourself up over it like we were just talking about. So I love that you say you started putting yourself out there and everything.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
It's definitely a challenge for me, for sure.
Yeah,
so.
I love it. Yeah, you're looking for those opportunities. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what's on the horizon? So we're like one third left of the year.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's crazy. So before the end of this year, specifically 2024, what's something that you aspire to do or create or put out there?
Yeah, I definitely want to start working with some more songwriters and working on some different projects of theirs or whatnot. Even if it's like writing lyrics or putting chords behind something. So I'd love to write some more. This is more long term, but I'm getting my own group together and just doing gigs and stuff.
Yes,
and then just for the end of this year, like the last 4 months or so, just all these different gigs that have coming up. Just whether they're private events or like gigs for artists or whatnot. Just looking forward to all the different music I'm gonna play and stuff. So.
That's so good. Hey man, well we have some new music on the horizon. I was literally just texting my drummer. He just out of the blue he texted me. I think it was yesterday. I'm driving. He texted me. He said, "When we working on this next album though?" He goes, "I'm working on this next single for this year." So a single just came out a few weeks ago, lyric song. Now I got a new single coming out pretty soon. I'm gonna talk to you guys about it soon. So a new single coming out soon, and then from there it's like, okay, let's go ahead and start working on this next album. So it's 10 new tracks, all written already. So now it's like, yo, let's start putting this bad boy together. You know what I'm saying? That'd be awesome. So I'm gonna hit you up to be like, yo, you got some ideas? You throw up on top of this? That'd be dope. Yes, sir. Cool. Awesome. So we wrap up every episode with giving like an encouraging word or some type of advice or something that you can give to the creative, something that they can hold on to and take back with them to apply. Some type of thought or whatever from your experience that you can give to them. What's something you got?
Yeah, I was just talking to a friend about this, but it's not even music. Well, it is related, but don't be afraid to be a real person. You know, live your life, enjoy it. You know, sometimes we could get burnt out usually by just trying to force ourselves too much to be quote unquote creative. We do have to practice like creating on a daily basis. So I will say, but if you're just burned out, like take care of yourself. Yeah. You know, if you feel like you're stuck in the rut, try something different. Yeah. That could mean something different musically. That could just mean something different overall. So don't breathe and be a healthy person. That's the other thing too. Yeah. So just be a real person.
I love that. That's awesome. I want to kind of sit on that for a second, the healthy part, because that can be in so many different arenas. What do you mean by be a healthy person? Because that's something that can be applicable if we have more specificity.
Yeah, that could be in all sorts of realms and stuff. That could be physical health. That could be emotional health. That could be psychological. That could be creative health, spiritual health. Yep. Just like, I feel like a lot of creatives were almost like boxing ourselves to be the quote unquote creative, that we lose sight of who we are just as normal people. You know, at the end of the day, we're all people. You know, so just enjoy what you're doing, and if you can't, or if you're having a hard time enjoying what you're doing, then you know you might have to change up something. You know.
Yeah, that's good.
Lifestyle choice, maybe it's how you're creating. You know, it could be something as simple as changing a light in a room, you know. But just do whatever you need to do to be the person that you want to be. Yeah. Yeah.
That's great, man. I love that. That's so good because as an artist, a lot of our success is based on what other people think about something that we created. You know what I'm saying? So with that, we can focus more so on that and not really just ourselves, like you said, us as a person, how we're doing and all of that. That's where community comes in. Being around other like-minded, you know, whether it's believers, like-minded artists who are all about like checking in and seeing how you're doing and stuff just as a person, having those groups to fill you up in that area. Yeah. Then you're going to have your release by creating whatever you need to create, whatever that's pent up in you that God put in you to put out into the world. You know, so that's so healthy, that balance. Yep. So good, bro. I appreciate that. Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. So tell people how they can find you, what platforms, all of that stuff, and where they can even hear things that you've created or that you're playing.
Yeah, I'm working on some revamp of that, but you guys can find me for sure on Instagram at christianye.music. It'll be wherever on the screen. Yeah. And then there's just different projects I've put out, so I'm going to start putting, or that I've worked on with people, even like me playing on the music videos for stuff. So I'm going to start putting more of that on my social media. So
let's go. Yeah, good. Awesome. Cool, man. Well, thanks so much for being on this episode. This is so dope. So, guys, I want you guys to follow Christian. I'm going to put the link below for you guys to follow him. And also, if you're interested in signing up for music lessons with Christians, that's going to be down there as well. So, don't miss that. And lastly, if you want to be a part of Creative Encounter and everything that we're doing, we do have the link for you to become a monthly financial partner with this ministry. It is tax deductible as we are a nonprofit through ACT International. So guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 81. I hope this was encouraging to you. Go ahead and share this with folks, and we'll see you guys next time.